And welcome back. I apologize for that extended break. We played 2 duct tapes and we had a bit of a short break after that as well. But I promise you it will all be worth it because we are here. We are back with a fresh brand new series with some 2 very high quality players. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Babylon, we have the ex-CranKy Duckling, the American Protoss player. We love him. He is and will always be the tip of Ultron. Voltron even. Oh my god, I did it. Tip of Ultron. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent, the Finnish Zerg player, also currently teamless, but still amazing at what he does. It is Mixu. I got a soft spot in my heart for both of these players. Of course, PattyMac is an ex-Duckling and will always be a Duckling in our hearts. We'll always cheer for him. And he'll always be my son. Likewise, we also have Mixu, who wasn't quite a Duckling, but was Duckling adjacent. He did end up sleeping with Vindicta when Vindicta went to DreamHack Atlanta, which is, of course, beautiful to behold. For those wondering, Mixu and Vindicta, they shared hotel rooms. They shared hotel rooms when going to Atlanta to save costs. Did anything crazy happen in those hotel rooms? Who knows? Oh god. But yeah, you know, both players very near and dear to my heart. But alas, they must face off. They must fight each other and knock each other out. Very reminiscent to Reaper versus Ricci, to be honest. Where 2 players, you know, with ties to the Ducklings had to kill each other, and likewise, it is the same here. Oh boy, and we'll see who comes out on top. Again, PattyMac, I feel like his PvZ is his speciality. He has beaten Scarlet before. He has taken maps and looked good again. I say taken maps. He's looked good against Raynor as well a couple of months ago in WTL. So we'll see what he does here. He is kind of prone. He has a certain style to him, which is sometimes predictable. I wonder if he is working on it, as we see a second gateway behind this. This is looking like the Patty special. The Patty special, of course, is you warp in a wave of adepts. You warp in a second wave of adepts. You go across the map to deal some damage. You get surrounded. You recall back home, and then you expand. We'll see. I'm curious. I'm very curious. And of course, PattyMac is also known to go into 3-gate Glaive Adepts, into double Stargate Phoenix, into DTs as well. It's always really fun to see, but at the same time, I do worry because he's been getting a lot of notoriety recently. I say recently, like over the past 6 months. He's been getting a lot of attention from the European Zerg players, from players like Lambo, Laser, all that good stuff. Just because he's been intermingling with them a little bit more. And he is being found out over time, as the depths are on the way, as they typically are. He's kind of being found out, and I worry because I've never seen him play standard, and it may be, you know, good to spread your wings and, you know, diversify. We'll see what we get. Just because I haven't seen PattyMac play in quite some time. Meanwhile, back at home, Mixu did go for a hatch gas pool opener. He did go for his 3rd base on time. Everything here is looking normal, aside from the fact that Mixu is going for a very fast Roach Warren. This was a 3:30-ish Roach Warren, a much earlier than a typical safety Roach Warren. So that is going to be a little bit sus here, as the adepts are going to be moving out across the map. 5 adepts in total. PattyMac does, or he should have a recall available to him here in the main base. Should be getting ready to send these back home in case they get surrounded. The adepts so far, though, haven't met too much resistance. We have been skipping out on Lings here. Mixu is being punished for that as the adepts make their way into the 3rd base. 2 drones already going to be going down, and all these Lings are being shaved off. Nice control here. One of these adepts is going to be pulled back for the time being, and PattyMac doesn't lose any adepts. Oh, and Mixu is attempting to re-drone. Despite going for this early Roach Warren, it seems to be that he's not really too keen on making too many Roaches right now, and more drones are going down. There is that recall. just to make sure everything is safe and sound. Oh my god, he saves every adept. Oh, the one who lived. 2 HP. The adepts are saved, and this is what I'm really interested by, because we're going into mass gates. We have 6 gates on the way. It's going to be 9 gateways in total. That's a lot of gates. But there's no Twilight Council. There's no upgrades. Oh, no, the Immortal! Oh my god, this is so unlucky for PattyMac. The first Immortal is going to get caught out. Force Fields are going to try and save it. Oh my god! The Force Fields will barely keep the Immortal alive, but so much damage was done. He wants it! The Roaches, they want the Immortal so badly! Oh, but they will be denied. Mixu invested so many Lings and even a couple of Roaches to kill an Immortal, and he doesn't get it. Oh my god. Brutal, Papi. Mixu from here is attempting to re-drone. He's taking a 4th base behind this, but PattyMac is going for a big counterattack. He has a Prism, and there's not a lot of longevity here to this army. There's no Twilight Council, there's no Blink, there's no Charge, there's no Glaives, there's no Forge, there's no +1. We're pushing in with everything we got here for PattyMac. This 3rd is essentially a fake. And it looks like Mixu has been bamboozled. Mixu droned. GG. GG, well played. PattyMac with the 9 gates all in. Fakes a 3rd. Kind of tricks Mixu into droning, into expanding. And when PattyMac showed up, Mixu straight up had nothing. Oh. On top of that, it was brutal for Mixu to dive on top of the Immortal and lose his army. Like, not like this, Papi. Not like this. Oh. So GG, PattyMac does take that first game. And what I love about that first game is that PattyMac did something different. Did something that I don't think we've seen him do before in WTL or, last year. I know PattyMac has been streaming a lot this year and has been practicing a lot. And it looks like he is broadening his horizons a little bit because, yeah, that was a very offbeat and off-meta all-in. That worked quite well for PattyMac, and it's really cool to see him mix in a couple more builds here. It's definitely something that he's been lacking in this matchup specifically, so it's good to see. Good to see. I just saw Asher in the chat. They shared a child. Ay, ay, ay. You're an animal. As we are now getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the American Protoss player. Currently teamless, currently a free agent, but well worth picking up. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have his opponent, the Finnish Zerg player, bamboozled in that last game. It is Mixu. Oh my god. So a very tricky play there from PattyMac in game number 1. We'll see how Mixu deals with it in game number 2 as he does go for the unnatural natural. Ay, ay, ay. As we should expect, nothing too crazy here so far to begin with. Hatch gas pool from our Zerg player. PattyMac is just expanding and bullying the Zerg player as he usually does. Smooch, puppy, smooch. Also, a good morning to Babylings in the chat. Buenos dias. Buenos dias, papi. Buenos dias. Ay, ay, ay. Which is a good way to wake up to some StarCraft. Some lovely StarCraft. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. As PattyMac is just, again, scouting, just confirming, just going to be, I mean, some Protoss players like to keep their probe here just to delay the 3rd base, but it looks like his probe is going to be sticking around a little bit just to confirm, just to make sure that everything is on the up and up. And now we're loading into Dragon Scales, a map with a bit of a shorter rush distance. So, as I almost die. Hold on. Oh, God, there we go. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mixu tries to be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more assertive this game. We saw him go for an early Roach Warren in game number 1, and he did make Roaches, if you recall. Did kind of try and go for a bit of a timing attack to try and catch a unit off guard. Didn't really work out for him in the end. So we can go kind of one of two ways. We can try to be assertive, we can try and dictate the pace of the game, or I imagine Mixu is going to be a little bit more adept at scouting because he was unable to rescout the main base and see the massive gateway explosion. He was unable to really verify what PattyMac was up to. See what our Zerg player has in store for us. Meanwhile, he actually pulls out completely from gas, just 100 gas for the Ling speed, and that is it for the time being. Just attempting to be as efficient as possible as he just now rallies back into that gas. Meanwhile, PattyMac is doing something a little bit different. This game, he is opening up Twilight Council. Oh boy, and he has pulled out a gas, so this is going to be a Glaive Adept opener from PattyMac. The question is, how many gateways? How committed are we going to be? For the time being, we have 2 gateways. We should be seeing a 3rd gateway. I doubt we're going to commit to more than 3. I think PattyMac is going to be reverting to his bread and butter, to what he is known for. Yes, we do have those 3 gateways in total. I did miss this one. But yes, 3 gate Glaive Adepts as we do set up for an expansion. This is very uncommitted. This is just designed to apply a little bit of pressure, give you the breathing room you need to expand. What is scary about this is that PattyMac has to be on the trigger with that recall. He cannot allow these adepts to be surrounded. Meanwhile, we see Mixu rush flooding across the map with his Lings to try and deny this 3rd base. The adepts have shown up. Lings are on the way. 14 Lings are in production. That's a lot of Lings. The adepts, they do not shade into the main for the time being. They're being as conservative as possible. 2 adepts do get warped in back at home. PattyMac's 3rd base is safe, and Mixu has gone back to droning, but he did invest a lot in these Lings. Looks like PattyMac is shading back home. He doesn't want he doesn't want to cancel this 3rd base, and he gets here just in time. The Lings are going to be cleaned up by these adepts. More Lings are showing up as well, but Lings against adepts is not something you want to be seeing here. Ooh. I'm afraid to look at the units lost tab. 28 Lings have gone down to these 3 adepts. Ay. This counterattack was not worth it here for Mixu. He bleeds out so many units, and now PattyMac Glaives is about to kick in, and he's going for the counterattack. And this is the PattyMac special: 3 gate Glaive Adepts into a 3rd base, into double Stargate Phoenix production, and a Dark Shrine behind this. This is what he is known for. Meanwhile, the adepts, they shade into the main base. They are forcing roaches out as well. Mixu wants to be droning right now, and he just can't. He's just going to be losing even more workers. Oh, unfortunately, the Evo Chamber working against him there for a moment. And because of all the dead Lings earlier, we just can't keep up with these adepts. Like, Mixu just hasn't been able to spend his larva efficiently enough to pull that off. And we may not even see the Phoenixes, to be honest, because adepts are in every single mineral line right now. Looks like they're being cleaned up slowly, and there we go. The roaches finally do meet up with the majority of the adepts in the natural. Oh god, but they've already done so much damage. PattyMac has to be careful not to lose too much here. He's down to 2 adepts, and he may trigger a counterattack here. Mixu does have a decent army, but again, Mixu is still attempting to drone up from here. Oh boy. PattyMac, unrelenting puppy. 4 more drones go down. 11 in total, and PattyMac has a massive worker lead. 61 probes compared to 48 drones. The Phoenixes are now out, as well as the DTs. And we've spoken about this before. The idea behind these DTs is that defensively they work quite well. You require detection if you go for a roach counterattack to try and break this, but that's why we have Phoenixes to kill the observers, to kill the overseers, and to CC those high-tech units. The DTs have shown up. Overseers are on the way, but drones are still going down. Meanwhile, at the same time, Phoenixes have revealed themselves, and they are going to be picking off whatever Overlords they can. Already one Overlord going down. PattyMac from here is just taking a 4th base. He's just continuing to pile on his economic advantage. Oh, and he's going to be supply blocking Mixu in the process. Ooh. Oh, we can't even transfuse! No! We can't transfuse. The high energy queen goes down. PattyMac is pulling Mixu apart here. And the problem is that Mixu's stuck at home just because of the early game, because of his economic situation. He just can't really break free from the shackles of his 3rd. He goes straight for an infestation pit. I'm really curious as to what this is for. Are we gonna see swarm hosts? Maybe, as the Phoenixes they just catch more of these queens. They're bullying the queens. Even over a spore, the Phoenixes just do not care. And they're going to be able to pick off the final queen here. We're going into a hive. We're not going swarm host. Mixu. Are we trying to get into vipers? That's the only thing I can really think of right now. And I guess they can help a little bit with their parasitic bombs. Interesting choice here. Interesting choices. PattyMac behind this. You know, we have even more DTs. Charge. Finish researching. We have finally our gateway explosion as well, so we can warp in. He's taking a 6th. He's crazy. He's up to 81. PattyMac expands like he's a Zerg player. He's crazy. He's double expanding right now. He's triple expanding right now. He knows how far ahead he is. He's got 81 probes. My god. This is actually disgusting. Oh my god. As once again, more of these queens are going to be going down. The Phoenix is just taking control of the entire map, of the spaces between all these bases. And there are those Vipers. Vipers will help against Phoenixes. They definitely will. The problem is that there's more than just Phoenixes. There's mass DT with Blink on the way. PattyMac's having fun at this point. He knows that he doesn't, like, he should be morphing these into Archons, but he knows he's far enough ahead that he can just clown. Oh my god. He can just rush in. Meanwhile, the Vipers, they need time to gather energy. Oh my god, and PattyMac, he does not spot the Vipers. They have been hidden. Thank god. These Vipers are really like the only chance that Mixu has right now. Mixu has, you know, shout out to Mixu. He has been able to recover his drone count a little bit. He's up to 72 drones. He's trying to work his way back up. The Vipers survived. They were able to avoid all those Phoenixes. Oh, but here comes PattyMac. Blink is done. Shadow Stride is done. And this is enough DTs to just kill the Roach army. It actually just is. Here we go. Parasitic bombs that do connect on top of the Phoenixes, but we have the Shadow Stride, we have the Blink on forward, and every Roach is going to go down, and the mass DTs are going to do it. They delete the Zerg army, and there's nothing else that can be done. We see a bit of a Ling run by seeing some of these bases. Oh my god, it's a massacre. It's actually just a massacre. PattyMac just annihilating everything in sight. DTs all over the place. Roaches trying to do what they can. Roaches, they counter DTs, right? Sometimes. Only sometimes. PattyMac is taking just even more bases. And now show up some reinforcements. GG gets called. PattyMac will take the series 2-0. Oh my god. And PattyMac, you know, in the off season, he has been streaming, he has been practicing, he has been working on some new builds and refining some old builds as well. GG. GG, well played. Now, there we go. He does it. He 2-0s Mixu and moves on to the next round. And we are going to see where that is, as we are going to be just checking that bracket. And we're going to be seeing what other updates we have available. And yeah, like that PattyMac build is such a... it feels like such an abusive style. There's a reason why Scarlet loves it so much. For those who don't know, Scarlet, whenever she off races on stream, she has been known to whip out the Patty special, the PattyMac special. It's brutal, mate. It's brutal. Can look brutal. Meanwhile, it is time to have a look at the bracket. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go.